Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Now today I'm going to review the Star Searcher from the Micronauts toy line. This is a toy line I absolutely loved as a kid and we only had a few of them. Now this I would class as one of my grail toys. It was a toy that we had as kids and I absolutely loved, and I've finally managed to find myself a box version recently to add to my collection here at toy-polloi. So on the front of the box you can see a great image of the Star Searcher here. It looks like a big bus on the left hand side, but as with all Micronauts vehicles you could take them apart and make them into other vehicles, other combinations. All the vehicles were sort of interchangeable. That was the big selling point of this toy line. Micronauts were released in 1978 and were a sort of a rework of a Japanese toy called Microman. In the US they were released by Mego, and it says here on the bottom corner 1978 Mego, but in the UK they were released by Airfix. If I lift up this box you can see that there is a small Airfix little logo in the corner, so UK versions are quite easily distinguishable from the ones available elsewhere in the world. So let's open up this box and we'll see what's inside. So inside the box there's a few bits of paperwork. You get a Micronauts pamphlet showing you what other toys and vehicles are available in the line. Obviously there's a sticker sheet and these stickers have already been applied, and you also get an instruction sheet like this which shows you all the pieces that should come in the box, where to apply the stickers, and on the back how to construct the main Star Searcher toy. As you can see, there's quite a few nice bits and bobs in this box, and it's all nice and neatly laid out. This one has obviously been played with quite a lot, but it's still in remarkably good condition considering it's nearly 40 years old, so a very old toy. So let's construct the first part of this vehicle, which is the main Star Searcher, and we can see what that looks like. And here is the Star Searcher all constructed, and it is as good as I remembered it being as a child, although I have to say a little bit smaller. I remembered it being quite a big toy, and actually we know as I've aged and grown bigger, this toy looks a lot smaller, but it's still really cool. It has lots of nice features. As you can see, there's space for a pilot in the front there, and I've got one Micronauts time traveller in there. Then we can open up this little sort of bulldozer thing on the side, and there's space for one other pilot to sit in there. And then there's also space for one more to sit on the back in this little section here. As I can show you, there are quite a few good features. We have the bulldozer, obviously, that goes on that side. I can fold that back in. There's a missile launcher. There's a missile launcher on the front which fires missiles quite nicely and firmly, and obviously two extra missiles to go on the back, so if you lose them there's a couple more there. If I turn this round, there's also a really cool crane on this side, which if I unwind the wire you can see it's a crane that extends with a hook on it, so it's quite a cool little feature there. And that also is useful for when you can turn it into other vehicles. Obviously this is made out of lots of sections, so you can see different things all over it, and I'll build some of the other ships that they suggest on the packet in a minute. There's another quite nice feature which as a child I always thought was a really good little storage thing, is if we pull these two sections apart there's a little compartment in the middle where you can store all sorts of bits and weapons, and I always thought that was an excellent little feature, and stored many a piece in there over the years. As I mentioned before, the great thing about Micronauts vehicles is the fact that you can take them apart and make them into different things. Every part of this is detachable. If I just sort of rotate these bits, they're all held on with pegs, and so you can pull off the various sections and rearrange them. So let's rearrange this into some of the vehicles that are suggested on the front of the box. Here are the first two. On the left we have the command control station, which is essentially just the front portion of the Star Searcher without the gun. And then we have the interplanetary bulldozer, as you can see here, which uses the sort of little digger section and the wheels and tracks off the back. Let's make some of the others. Here we have the remote defense unit with action missile, and this is the extendable boom crane with die-cast metal hook. This one's a little bit lopsided just because of the weight of the crane thing. If I lower that down it sort of stands a little bit better, but it's still quite a nice little nifty toy, and I do like this little slide out seat that's built into the crane section. If I take the time traveller figure off, which is easier said than done, let me just wiggle him about like that, then you can see that this little side seat then just sort of pushes inside the vehicle, a little bit stiff, there we go, and it's back to just being a crane, so quite a little nifty feature there on that section. And the final one listed on the box is this survey module, which is essentially just the back section of the ship with a couple of bits rotated round. I do really like the way that they've put a lot of thought into this toy, the fact that it is so interchangeable and that you can just make stuff up as you go along. Obviously the idea is for you to design and build your own things, and if you buy more kits then you can make more and bigger toys with all the sort of bits that interchange between all of these vehicles. Everything is built using the same sort of setup with the same size pegs and holes. So all of these little pegs, holes here, are the same as the ones that are on the back of the Micronauts Time Travelers figures and all other toys. So it does mean that you can do quite a lot with them. I've actively been searching for a Micronauts Star Searcher for quite a long time because it was one of the toys that I really remembered very strongly from my childhood and something that I wanted to get in as complete condition as I possibly could. And in the end I found this one which was boxed and complete, nothing's broken on it, and all the stickers are in really nice condition. I paid a fair price for this, but you can get them cheaper. And as luck would have it, as soon as I bought this one, the next week I managed to buy another one in not quite as nice condition for a fraction of the price. So I've now got two in my collection, which is nice because, to be honest, I want to have one boxed on display and I would also like to have a loose one on display because this is something that has such strong memories for me. Micronauts toys are still fairly easy to get. There's a lot of them out there. You'll find most will have pieces missing if they're loose, but just because they came with so many little bits and bobs. But you can quite often find the pieces sort of within a few months of picking up the main part of it. And prices vary from being pretty cheap to being quite expensive for some of these larger sets. And really at the moment not many people are collecting them, so it's an ideal time if you want to start collecting a lovely range of toys. Then these are pretty good value at the moment, and compared to Star Wars they are incredibly good value. And as you can see, you can get very nice box versions and the boxes do look great on display. I hope to pick up more Micronauts over the coming years, but at the moment I'm happy with the few that I've got because they're the ones that I had as a child and they have very strong memories for me, something that I played with a lot and really do just love the look of and the way that they're built. They're very sort of 70s in their styling. The plastic is fairly cheap and cheerful, but it's pretty sturdy, so they do last quite well. And again, because of the way they're constructed, it's quite easy to take them apart and mend them and also find parts to swap out. So if you do ever get them with broken parts, it's quite an easy toy to repair. So there we have it. That's my review of the Micronauts Star Searcher, one of my grail toys that I've been looking for quite a long while, and something I can tick off my list that I now have in my collection. I hope that review's been of interest to you, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter and Facebook.